Welcome, guys.
Hello, hello.
Another
Hey,
another exciting episode and some familiar faces. But Chris and Bells are two new faces, so they will introduce themselves. But a few days back, while we were returning from Token 2049, this conversation was on, and that was the theme of the um, today's podcast. Right? There are two ways of earning or owning token. One, you can just go to the market and get it, and another is like you become a miner. That all the 2011, 2012 guys who tried to be into Bitcoin, they probably failed acquiring a token, and they were trying to mine. I missed out the boat completely because I felt that it was too complicated to get the machines, right? But around 2013, 2014, I got lucky to mine some. Well, the excitement of mining tokens and be part of the ecosystem is a bit more better than just opening your exchange account and doing a swap, right? Because you guys are builders, obviously, you know the excitement. But a similar kind of excitement right now is happening in DePIN, where either you are giving some resources, say for devices, or you are getting a device from the DePIN and feeling the same excitement of mining a token. Right, so today's topic will be around DePIN, and we have got some excellent advocates of DePIN and also building their own, some based on the devices and some using your existing devices, right? So without further ado, let's first get a round of introduction and then we move forward with our questions. Who goes first?
yeah, I can start. So my name is Ed. I'm co-founder and CMO of Ping Network. We are a decentralized bandwidth infrastructure, helping Web2 businesses to get access to uh, pooled bandwidth all across the world from one single platform in a very scalable and cost-efficient manner. And at the same time, we are helping users to monetize the internet connection at home on mobile phones. So if you have like a basic user device like a phone or laptop, you can go to our website and install Ping app, which will act as a node, and you'll start to earn Ping points. So yeah, that's us.
Thank you so much. Who wants to go next?
Sure, I can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Emmanuel, the deep in cat here. I'm on the World Mobile team. We're effectively a new model for the telecoms industry. So yeah, the problem is that nearly 3 billion people around the world have no access to connectivity. We're talking internet and mobile, so they can't call anyone in an emergency. They can't do anything online, be part of the digital economy. And then billions more are simply paying too much for their connectivity or not getting an adequate service. And this is despite the fact that you have the massive big wireless companies that have been around, some in some cases for nearly a century, and that control the entire market. So we're introducing a new decentralized model to that, whereby our platform allows anyone to build a telecoms network anywhere in the world. Obviously, there are starting places, but the idea is anywhere in the world. So if you see your local community is unconnected, you can set up a network and connect those people whilst also running a successful telecoms business. So yeah, DePIN is the way that we want to do that, because we believe that decentralization needs to come to the telecoms industry.
Thank you. Who goes next?
I can jump in. So of course, maybe Yogi, you've been in contact with Thomas, and everyone in the team maybe has a little bit of a different way to define what we do at Silencio. But I like to say that we want to democratize data with the least amount of barriers to entry as possible. And what we are doing, and the initial data point that we're collecting, is noise level data. And we are collecting everyday noise and transforming it into actionable data through which you can make much more informed decisions. So the way that we do that
is through a mobile free application that our community then collects the data from. We take that data and turn it into valuable data, for example, for a booking in a restaurant or for a booking in a hotel. And yeah, it's a small introduction.
Thank you. Bells want to go. Last but not the least.
Yeah. So I'm Bells. I'm an ambassador for Tenio, although not here as representative, but I'll be talking a lot about Tenio today. And Tenio is a DePIN project that rewards users for contributing real-world data through their mobile devices, just like grass. We all know grass, right? When it's cooked. So it's part of the new wave of Web3 applications that people earn by sharing everyday resources, and in this case, the location and the bandwidth, just like the predecessors and all. So today I'll be talking more about Tenio, how users can get the most out of Tenio and all. Thank you.
I had a wonderful meeting with Freddie, and we both were stuck in the car while going to Abu Dhabi actually. So had a lot of conversation about early days of Tenio, and yeah, so very happy with what you guys are building. Amazing stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool. As always, like we have the DePIN cat, so we have to ask tough questions, right? So that we get those answers when we possibly can replay when he's not available for a year or so, right? So
I'm
for
back
someone
now.
who's getting started, and what are the ways somebody can get access to your ecosystem? Like, is it easy? Is it difficult? Can you give some insight?
Yeah, so obviously there are two sides to this. There's the consumer facing side, and then there's the node operator side, or in our case, air node or earth node operator side. So the beauty of what we're doing, and I guess what all of us are doing in the DePIN space, is that on the consumer side, it's no different from the service in terms of your process, customer journey, from what you're already used to. So in our case, if you go on our website, worldmobile.io, and you click phone plans, or you go on the Tanzanian website or the Pakistan website, Switch Fiber, it basically looks like, and it should look like, a normal telecoms offering. So you can see the phone plans, you can see the prices, you can see the speeds, you can see the internet plans, you can see if your area is covered. And yeah, you go through the normal process, sign up, and an engineer's at your house if needed, or you're connected. So that side is really, really simple and normal, shall we say. But just before I go on to the node operating side, that is the power of DePIN. It's that we can onboard people. Everyone on this, watching this right now has a phone plan, whether you're in crypto or not. So we can onboard people simply by the fact that we're offering them a service that they're already using and they will pay for. And then on the node operator side, so that's where we're introducing a completely new model that's unseen in the telecoms industry. So you go on our site, airnode.worldmobile.net. You can click Explorer, go to our ecosystem explorer, and basically you see a map of the world and you see where our network is. So we've got a network in Pakistan, we've got a network in Tanzania, on the island of Zanzibar, and in the US. You can see which hexes, so it's a standard practice in telecoms or any mapping to split the map up into hexes, which hexes are available, which air nodes, which are basically cell towers, connectivity infrastructures, routers, etc. You can buy within those locations. You simply buy them when they're available. They're all sold out at the moment. We just had a sale yesterday. Buy them when they're available. It gets attached to a dashboard that you have, and you can monitor whether that piece of infrastructure is up or down and how much it's earning, how much data is going through. So we've tried to make it really, really simple for people that are unfamiliar with telecoms, but might be familiar with node operation within the crypto space, to literally go anywhere in the world where we're operating and start to build their own network. So yeah, I feel like on the consumer side, well, on any side, you need to make it as easy as possible, and that's how our journey is. It's as easy as can be.
It's very good you mentioned that, but are you procuring in a way that you first deciding where the business is and then making those nodes available, or anyone can buy a node anytime?
So yes, so obviously we exist in the telecoms industry. So if we want to set up a network anywhere in the world, we need to go through the proper licensing protocols. So we do it in different ways. So in Tanzania and in the US, so we have a proper MNO license, a mobile network operator license, and that's our network. So we're deploying the nodes there on the ground. We're talking to customers, etc. But actually, the majority of our growth at the moment in terms of users and network usage is coming from Pakistan, in particular Islamabad and Lahore. And in Islamabad and Lahore, well, in Pakistan, we have partnered with a company called WorldCore, which is on the ground. They're an established telecoms provider, and we have a joint venture with them called Switch Fiber. So effectively, they're doing all the deployment. They're doing all of the customer acquisition. They're going into the houses and setting up the routers or adding routers outside. They're laying the fiber down, and then the infrastructure that they lay down is then onboarded to our platform. And I think that's the way, as a lean team, we're not a startup anymore, we're a business now. Team, that's what we want to do. We want to be partnering with infrastructure providers that already exist, already have the expertise on the ground, and we're introducing this new model to them so they can scale that infrastructure in a quicker way.
Beautiful. Yeah, it is very interesting that sometimes, the little innovation of being flexible, that where the demand is and you make modification accordingly. I think that's one of the things which most of us deep in need to realize, that your business use case might change, your target audience might change, your target territory might change, but you cannot take those decisions always through a boardroom discussion. You need to be on ground to know what's the demand, and you got to modify that. So that's something
that's why
exciting.
decentralization is so important. Like, decentralize
Right.
to where the expertise is and let it run.
Absolutely. Oh, exciting. So that same question goes to Ed.
Yeah, so in our case, we are rolling out in stages, and right now the only way to contribute to our network is by installing PIN gap or extension. We just launched last week, and we already almost have like 200,000 installs. So I would say it's pretty easy for people to onboard. All they have to do is just like install the app, connect to a VPN feature, which we are using as like a showcase of our infrastructure, and they're good to go. Pinpoints starting to rolling in, and that's all. A little bit later, we plan to introduce like more ways to earn. The second stage would be a testnet with public nodes. At that point, it will be a little bit more harder to onboard into ecosystem, because obviously you'll have to get like a hardware server from somewhere. You'll have to install like a simple software, like run some Linux commands and all that stuff. But in our case, we are always trying to make it as easy as possible for our users. We are all in on individual contributors for supply side as like a starting point, and we always try to make their life as easy as possible. So I wouldn't say it will be super hard to onboard in the PIN network, but right now it's as easy as possible.
But you meant to say like in the mainnet it will be difficult, right?
At the testnet stage, we'll introduce more ways to earn. So most people will be still able to just install extension or desktop app and provide the internet connection. But if they want to be like a node operator, run a real server, well, it will require some more hustle to get up and running, but nothing crazy for sure.
We have a lot of question for you in this in the subsequent parts. Let's first hear from Silencio. Hope you are not asking us to be silent, right?
No. We're giving you the option to choose if it's too loud. But so on our side, or the way that I see it is that the power of DePIN lies also in using the scalability that DePIN offers a project to be able to solve a problem. So for us, as it is very variant from project to project and what the needs are to be able to solve an issue, ours, we chose the path of least resistance, which was to go for smartphones solely. There are 7 or 8 billion, the figures vary, smartphones out there, and everyone has one, everyone carries one with them. And what we wanted to do is to be able to understand noise pollution throughout the entire world. And every single phone has a microphone in it, or a sensor, which is the microphone. And for us to be able to onboard or to participate, the easiest way is to just download our app, Silencio, and log in and start with your first measurements. And with that, you already participate within the network and provide value to the network, which then makes you eligible for our rewards as well.
You are also planning to do some quality data through, or maybe through a continuous stream of data through a specific hardware as well, or you want to remain in this device, because smartphones are also becoming truly smart these days, right?
Absolutely. Now, of course, every day smartphones get a lot better, and our software, or the way that we analyze our data, we can and are able to make up for some lacking infrastructure. If you have a phone that maybe does not have the best microphone, we're able to adapt that to be able to make the data very valuable. And it is a consideration that we have had, that we go fully hardware, and more information, if that thing would happen, if we go into hardware, will follow. But for the time being, what we're also looking into is creating a passive mode. So when you have your phone, you don't actually have to continuously start a new measurement or think about, oh shoot, I forgot to measure noise wherever I'm walking. But to be able to simply take your phone, put it on the side, do your everyday tasks, and have the system collecting noise in the background. Of course, it's a little bit more complex, but we are in process of developing this now and are super excited to get that out. But I know I just avoided your question a little bit. It's because I'm not sure about, there's more information to follow regarding this and whether we will come out with hardware or not.
No worries at all. I was muting myself. Thank you, guys. You want to take that question, Beth?
Yeah. Thank you for the question, though. The thing is, one of the most powerful things about DePIN, just like Ed said, is that it's not just for developers or crypto experts. It's designed so that everyday people, people with a smartphone or a simple device, can get involved and start earning. That's the power of adoption. So, and the few affordable ways a person can get started is running lightweight nodes, sharing basic resources that you already have, and plug and play hardware stuffs like that. And Tenio is really working on that adoption, bring onboarding people through some couple easy steps. Um, no complicated setup is really needed, no deep crypto experience needed. You just have to run a node on your PC at that point, and yeah, you're good to go. Although it's not yet available for mobile, but we're working on that. But it's basically available for PC and Mac too. Yeah. So if you have either up there, it really works. So whether it's a smartphone or whether it's a router or it's small device, project like Tenio is really making it possible for everyone to join the network economy and get rewarded for the little things they already have. So in short, the easiest way to get started is looking for the PIN projects like Tenio that lower the technical and financial barriers. And the goal isn't just to earn, it is to empower more people to take part in the infrastructure of tomorrow. So that's just what basically we're really working on. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome, Dark Virus. Eyes on the road.
Yeah.
Uh,
I right in, but I'm here. I'm here, bro. What are you doing?
all's well. People are giving A lot of exciting update and knowledge, and I'm just grasping it as much as I can. Who knows? These guys will show up after
Too
6 months.
much.
No apparent indication to the DePIN cat.
When are we gonna get a dancing robot? When are we gonna get one of those? Is what I want. A dancing robot, bro. You seen that? Elon's little doo 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 doo.
Don't insult the steering. Right. But this thing I had in mind, right? In our ecosystem, even till today, it's very surprising that I keep getting still when Lambo, when Moon, and kind of questions, right? So I think the real builders, they keep building irrespective of whether their token is going up or not. Somebody was asking actually the Web3 cat today. Oh, you made it the Web3 cat or DePIN cat?
Yeah, I had a rebrand.
That's a good rebranding, by the way.
It's a good
So
one.
somebody was asking you actually, right? Like when is the token price going up and all those kind of things, right? I think one of the misconception I see in DePIN that I want to get rich quick, you know. So I will just give some noise data to Silencio, and I'll receive $100 the next day, right? And now, apart from that, in your project and as well as the projects which are observing, do you see there are a few misconceptions? And if they are, like, what would you advise to those users, and how would we clarify that so that those who are watching, they should keep the expectations in check?
Yeah, I mean, it's we're an industry that's 15 years old, so we've got to remember that like everything in this place started as a project, and that's basic. A project is basically an MVP or a proof of concept, right? That's how it started. But actually, with DePIN, there's the great opportunity to turn those projects into businesses. And what that means is you're not just making something in order to raise funds, which is effectively what the token structure is. It's a mechanism for fundraising, right? You're making something to make a profit, not just revenue, a profit, which means you have product market fit. It means you're sustainable and you can reinvest in growth. So that discussion I had with that guy, the answer is very simple. You need to build a sustainable business. Speculators will always speculate, and they will their speculation is a function of their perception. It's not of value. It's not a function of the actual value and capacity that a business has, but it is led by that. So as we built, like we have 2 million, just under 2 million daily active users, and all of those users are paying every single month for connectivity. That's a business, right? And that is going to change perceptions so that the value of the token goes up or down, or whatever way it happens, right?
So with the real businesses, I mean, so let's just look at the fundraising cycle. So there is a pre-series A, or then there is series A, and then so on and so forth, right? So from pre-series A to series A, when the founders are switching investor, let's put it in a simple term, right? When they're switching investor, the investor A, he invested early. Investor B is buying the speculation in reality that this is going to go further, right? In our project, when we are transiting from, as you said, from a project to business, we need speculators to come and buy that. So speculation here is not a wrong term, right? It's basically the shares are exchanging hands. That one guy held it for some time, he made some profit. Now another guy's turn is to take that, and so he can hold for some time. But at some point of time, the revenues will come, and then the business will be able to pay back. Isn't it that?
For sure. I mean, yeah, speculate. Let me be clear. Speculation is not wrong. You need speculation in order to take risk. And to take risk is to do business, right? Is to get an idea out there into the world and make something. So speculation is not wrong, but it's where the speculation lies, I suppose. And people have gotten used to tokens going up, and therefore they just expect them to go up regardless. And then it becomes, why isn't it going up? What are you doing to get it up? Well, actually, the speculation that we have at World Mobile is from our community members who are speculating or taking a risk on building their own networks. They're coming to our air nodes, which are providing rewards every single month in fiat constantly, because our customers are paying in fiat constantly. And they're saying, how can I take this further? How can I what ideas can I have based on that model there to go further? So that speculation is great. It's the speculation that's based on, you know, Bitcoin was a cent, you know, 14 years ago, and now it's 80, 90, $100,000, right? That's the thing that we need to change.
Is it rampant now? It is like a little bit too much, because I think as an ecosystem we are judging almost all the projects in the same template of what visibly Bitcoin has given return, and some of the meme coins have given return. What are you showing? What is that? Are you mining? Are you mining World Mobile? Oh, you have a connection with that.
I'm number 6. I'm number 6. Yeah. Scan it. Easy peasy. Look.
I don't want
Just
to.
a little
I don't
bit.
want to take up too much mind share, but that's amazing. That's basically our app. So we have an app that allows anyone to go around the world and scan their local connectivity, and they earn points based on that, which are incentivized. So, oh man, it's great to see. It's great to see scan points in action right there. Ah, brilliant.
I've been doing it for like.
I know your location. You lost the audio, mate. Or is it just me?
No, it's probably me.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I've been doing it over a year. But I love it how you have that little run in the background a little better now. Like on the Android, it has like that. It like, you know, it runs better in the background now.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's
the
amazing.
devs have done a good job, and they continue to do it. So yeah, man, keep scanning, keep scanning. Good to see.
Beautiful, man. Yeah, that's the real feedback, man. Here, right here. You know, that's why we love this informal confab, chat, whatever you say, but nothing serious. But we are bringing on serious topics. So yeah, question goes to um, Silencio. Chris.
Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, I mean, I think the DePIN cats covered most of it, or pretty much all of it. But maybe to rephrase that, or not rephrase that, but to put focus on it again, we're not here for a quick a time. We want to build something that lasts for a long time, and we want to be a solution that is I mean, all of us in DePIN, I assume, we all want to be a solution that is going to be used in a couple of years' time. If you want to check internet connectivity, or if internet providers want to check people, we want them to be able to use World Mobile in 10 years. If people go on booking.com, we want them to be able to see our noise level data live and updated there the whole time. And
Oh, what DePIN you're hiding there? Silencio, or what?
I hope not. It looks quite loud down there.
That's
Oh, sorry, I had it muted. No, this is, you know, it's an overseas container, you know. It's a high dollar load, right? No, I don't know. I just come back here and this was dragging, so I figure I'd bring y'all with me. I don't mean to interrupt. Sorry, you know me.
You know what I was thinking is, like, you keep a Silencio device at the top and one bottom, and finding out the difference in noise.
That's a good
You
idea.
cover a lot of hexes. No.
I do have a lot of hexes everywhere. Go ahead though.
But I have a specific question with Chris. A lot of time people think that passive income means you don't need to be active, right?
Yeah.
Is that the case? And because I have seen like people like Dark Virus, they're working so hard to be part of the ecosystem. But a lot of time people think that, oh, it's easy. It's passive income. I just don't have to do anything. I just install the app and I should be receiving tokens. In Silencio's topic, and for the matter, overall deep in topic, how do you answer that?
Of course, I mean, there's a saying, I don't know if it translates well to English, but from nothing comes nothing, of course. So you do, of course, have to participate in order to receive. I mean, if you don't put value into the network, why would the network give you value back? Sorry, that was a bit of a hiccup. But of course, you have to participate. The more you participate, the more you get rewarded, and that's the whole concept of it. Of course, the more data you provide to all of our DePINs, the more output there should be.
Yeah, the legend is here. The legend is
Hello,
here.
everybody. How you guys doing? Sorry, I'm late. I had this meeting that I couldn't miss today. So great things for coming for Growww. But I did tell y'all that I was going to be a little late. But here I am. Happy to join. Hopefully, you guys are having a great time. What's happening down there? Somebody's fixing a tire?
So just putting a Growww device there.
Awesome.
So you can distribute internet while on move. Yeah, so yeah, we were talking about some of the misconception of deep in earning, travel, sometimes we think that people want to just get rich quick, or like in Silencio's case, or for the matter, any other deep in, sometimes we think we don't have to do anything and we earn token. What's your thought on it? What are some of the misconceptions of earning tokens through DePIN?
I think there are several. Maybe one of the biggest misconceptions is that it's expensive or it's complicated. You need complicated hardware only, or that you need deep technical knowledge to get started. But there's so many options, right? So I think that it depends on various things. I think, first of all, a lot of people don't even know about crypto. So sometimes I think DePIN makes it easy for them to understand how they can even participate from this. What's happening down there? So I think there's so many narratives. People can get confused if you're not on top of what's going on in the ecosystem and what all the projects are doing. Because if you only, for example, if you're only a DY type of guy, you know the struggle of having to get the real estate, to having to get probably permits in some cases, get the bandwidth, install the customer service to this host. And this is one. And then you have, at the same time for DY, you have the users that connect that can get a bad experience because it's a very personal service in that specific moment in time, versus there are other DePINs that you can only use a mobile app to participate. You don't need to buy anything, you need to pay for anything. You can just participate with what you have. You don't have clients that you need to tend to, or you don't have a protocol, I don't know, removing you from the network because clients are not happy with that specific service you're getting in this specific place. There's some other projects that just rely on some data that it doesn't have any type of problem with the user itself of the network. You just have a buyer on the side. So I think the misconceptions can come because they just know too little about what DePIN as a whole is. And if they only know that they have to deploy a hotspot in a roof, for them, it's always going to be hard. If you have to only buy a hotspot or a machine from one company, probably that's also hard for them to. Why can't I join with what I have today, right? So yeah, I think those could be the misconceptions that I can talk about at the top of my head right now.
Anyone wants to add anything? I also see that some of the users, they think anyone putting a
Yeah,
dip
I
in
also add something
is,
to it.
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, I agree with what Sharon said. You know, many people think you need expensive hardware or deep technical knowledge. You know, when people hear about DePIN, they assume it's like mining Bitcoin in 2014, where you need a big house of machines, you know, crazy electricity bills and IT skills before you can mine or earn on DePIN. And just like you said, Yog, where you said people put in, they believe it's where you put in $100 and make $1,000 the next day, and then it's not like that. They feel like, no, this is shit, you know. So a lot of people today don't understand how deepin works, and it's actually okay. And one more misconception I can think of offhand right now is that many people think that deepin is not for my region, or they feel like it's not worth the effort, you know. So they feel like deepin works mainly in US, Europe, or Asia. Unknown to them that it works everywhere where there's electricity, internet connectivity, and all. And they feel like if I put in money today, I'm not making the money tomorrow, or I'm making the money over a long period of time. Like it's not worth the effort at all. So make me remember it. Grass, when Grass was doing the dipping stuff, they let users set up over 100 hotspots, and they later end in thousands over a period of time. So deep Grass also opened many people to see how they can easily adopt to how they can earn on DePIN. And Tenio, on the other hand, too, is also into this. It is like earning in when you are very calm, and when you are, you know, at your comfort zone. So just spread like that.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Maybe, maybe to add into
That
that.
virus. Yeah,
Sorry.
please go ahead.
I mean, I think that Shravel got into it a little bit, but you did speak a lot about the complexity, or the perceived complexity about getting into DePIN. And I think that maybe one of the beauties about DePIN is that you don't really need to, or in many cases, you don't really need to understand a lot about Web3 to be able to participate. A Web2 person or a non-native Web3 crypto guy is able to participate and is able to make a difference within these individual networks. And of course, I see DePIN becoming a little bit of a bridge into what we call crypto, or the more advanced crypto sphere that we probably find ourselves in. And it's an exciting part of it, because we do see it on our side a lot, where we have some people joining in and they actually don't know a single thing. They don't know how to take or take the SOC that they earned and put into their wallet. Not because they're stupid, it's just because they've never experienced anything in crypto before. And seeing this bridge happening, it shows a maturing stage, I think, of the industry.
I think also the global crypto ecosystem is getting their focus, rightfully so, into user experience. Like just imagine, like don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Polkadot still, but Polkadot.js, come on, that is like inspect button of the browser, right? It's meant for the developers. It's not for a common user, you know. MetaMask right now, yeah, it is getting improved, but early part of MetaMask is for developers and for builders. Common person, it's so difficult, and that has given rise to centralized exchanges. It's not because they need centralized exchanges, because we made the user experience complicated. That's why the user have moved there. It's not about the liquidity. Dex also has liquidity, right? So user experience, when I see like the World Mobile app or Silencio, you know, some of these apps are like making you feel that it is an extension of Web2 user experience. We build a super app for our farmers, and we made it like on-chain account abstraction, kept it so simple that they're using the app and the tokens are there also in their site, right? So that way they don't feel like, oh, it's Web3 is scary, crypto is scary. and we found it that they were doing transactions between themselves. So I gave some airdrop, and I think that they will be just seeing how the token works. No, they were actually doing microtransaction for their day-to-day needs. I said, like, yeah, that's what is crypto meant for, right? You suddenly become financially inclusive, you know. So I think user experience is getting better. Even I mean, literally by day before yesterday, new EIPs are going live, and then you suddenly see that user experience is getting a lot of great focus as well, right? Um, so yeah, um, I think that is one of the key thing why we see that uh, as Chris was saying, we are at that a place where we are expecting a lot of improvement, and that is what mass adoption. And without user experience, I don't think mass adoption is happening. If people
So
like Dark Virus can, um, not like him, he's too technically advanced. But if someone while driving can fix the world mobile token things, yeah, that's user experience, right?
yeah.
So
Just I guess just to
okay.
add, just to jump in on that point, like yeah, deep it like crypto blockchain was never supposed to be front facing. It was always it's software. It's always supposed to integrate into the financial system. It was never meant to. It was meant to organize the book behind the scenes. So I feel like DePIN is the natural evolution to that, and not just on the user experience side, but by DePIN allowing crypto projects to become real businesses, it means you're making real money. So now you don't have to
Mm,
pay in tokens. Like at World Mobile, we don't distribute rewards in tokens. Our rewards are distributed in fiat completely. You can choose to have that converted into token on your end,
mhm.
but because our business is real world, revenues coming in from the real world, we just distribute that back to people, and that's the seamless way of onboarding anyone to cryptos by using what you already have and integrating behind the scenes.
Well, just to extend, like you were also saying that, while the project is transiting to a business, we see no reason why they would be distributing in their token, right? They could distribute in a stable coin. Hopefully, the stable coin regulations gets better. Hopefully, the criminality aspect takes a back seat, right? So, and then the projects will be feeling it free to distribute to anyone who participates, So, yeah, um, if we jump into the rewards, because a lot of time, even when I have seen some of the projects and they get always um, backlash for not able to do a proper airdrop, or the rewards are not fair. And I have hardly seen any project that has got a thumbs up that, yeah, rewards were so fair, right? So what are some of the characteristics you are seeing? What are some of the steps you have taken and or you have observed from some fellow projects? What are the mechanics you have followed to make sure that the DePIN rewards are fair?
Can I start?
Who goes? Yeah, please. You are the one who's distributing a lot of reward. Now, go.
Right. So I'm against airdrops personally. I've never thought that airdrops bring anything valuable to the project. It can bring fuss, it can bring hype for a very brief moment. You need to focus on growth and not on hype. Those are two very, very different things. Just because you mentioned the airdrop, I just wanted to say that about airdrops. Now, at Wayru, fairness is built into the protocol. The way rewards are based, it's on real usage, meaning data served to users, offloading capacity from telcos, and uptime. Okay, when we thought about how to make this reward system last, we had these different scenarios from previous startups. We had advisors, and we went with a very unique way of distributing devices, distributing rewards to devices and oracles, because the other ways just didn't make sense long term. Those were like, if I distribute specific amount of tokens per GB, what happens if too many GBs are used day one or in a small period of time? There's not going to be more tokens to distribute if you're trying to use this long-term flywheel. Or if you pay X amount of money in tokens specifically, and then the token drops, you can also deplete your treasury by doing that. So what we chose a daily release schedule for over 100 years, where every day there is slightly less tokens distributed than the day before. So we make sure that there's always been tokens distributed from the protocol from the participants. Although we are very, very keen to the idea that in the next 5 to 10 years, people are going to be paying with crypto themselves. Because right now we have to make it, and we talked about this earlier, we make it easy for people. They can pay us in fiat to get access, right? We need to do the conversion behind, if we need to burn tokens or whatever happens behind the scenes for every different protocol. But we believe that we don't need to wait for 100 years for the rewards to come directly from people paying with crypto, instead of from the initial treasury to kickstart and to sustain the project long term. So we track verifiable metrics and distribute rewards proportionally to that. So whether you are running one hotspot or hundreds of hotspots, you're earning your fair share based on your contribution to the network. So if you have your hotspot in your basement, and you have you have a hotspot in very I don't know, in a park where you have a lot of people walking by every day, you will of course get more rewards in one place rather than the other. And soon, with our offloading program, which is now live internationally, the more tokens offload traffic through your node, the more valuable your node becomes, the more value it creates, and the more you earn. Now, there's so many different ways of rewarding your users. We thought about what World Mobile folks just mentioned about paying directly in fiat, and this is true depending on the status of your network, right? I believe World Mobile is in a position where they can do that, and I believe a lot of projects in the next 5 to 10 years will become, or will go that route as well, because you'll be able to allow them to choose, you want to get paid in fiat or you want to be paid in crypto, because there's so much real usage happening in that moment that you don't necessarily need to pay only from the treasury. And if it's a perfect world, if it's perfect crypto maniac like me world, people will always prefer to get paid in crypto, not in USD, maybe in stables, or change or get their tokens and change them to stables, because as DePIN mentioned, blockchain was intended to be the ledger behind the scenes, but it's not anymore. It's a lot more than that, and we have to wrap our minds around that new realities. Like, it's not just a backlog ledger, transparent and immutable and scalable, whatever you want. Now it's something different. Now it's driving your car and selling that data so you can get crypto rewards and you can get benefits, so you can get cheaper tires. Right?
Yeah, but in this case, what's your view on what should be the utility of your token, if it's not primarily as a payment for contributors?
So it shouldn't. So I heard somebody say that there should be various tokens in ecosystems, one to pay for contributors and one for usage. I don't believe that. I think that if you are getting paid in the token, that should be the utility token as well. So we do pay in tokens. People get paid in tokens. That's the, let's say, the first utility. get paid by deploying a hotspot. But if you use premium data on the Wayroot network, tokens are burned as well. We are going to be the telcos offloading to Wayroot. They pay in fiat, but that's translated into tokens getting burned. So we have utility on the usage side of the network, on the deployment side of the network, and on the reward side of the network. And there could be many more, right?
It's same for us. That's why I asked, because we are basically same stuff, like seamless payments on both sides. So if you want to pay in fiat or crypto, you can do that. If it's like a contributor, he will eventually receive our token. We are not like live with the token yet, but they will be receiving token, and we also want for them to like have a seamless UX in terms of like converting those tokens into something more tangible to pay like in the real world. So that's
well, for the conversion. So for the conversion, I think for the conversion, I don't think it's like up to your platform. It's just having liquidity on a DEX or on a SEX. That's where people are going to be going and they're going to go and change that easy. If you want to make it like a swap in your,
they claim their tokens, they do as they want.
Yeah.
Just to extend that a little bit more. So, when it is only matter of matching the demand and supply, it's comparatively easier. So one is contributing something and another needs that contribution. It is it's somewhat like a barter ecosystem, and so you become a small economy of doing the handshake. But I'll just go back to what the DePIN cat was saying before, right? But most of these projects are projects, which means the same token is used for fundraising. The same token is used for development or rewarding the development or contribution of marketing and all other kinds. And the same token is being used for distributing rewards. That's where the tokenomics get. How do you justify that? How do you do the calculation? Do you
I lost you. Everybody lost me?
Yep.
ecosystem like way of distributing, or what are some of the things? I'd really love to know what do you guys think about it?
Can you repeat the question, because you got cut off? I don't know if everybody had the same problem.
I think the same.
About the last 10 seconds.
Okay, so what I was saying is that when you have like demand supply and then like team token and then the investors token, that becomes a complex tokenomics. How do you deal with that? How are you dealing with it in your project?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's difficult to be specific on that, because you can go very, very complicated here, and that is actually, I think, the problem with tokenomics is it shrouds what what any normal business has, which is value out versus value in all of this complex like cliffs and like lockups and all of that sort of stuff. But what I meant by paying in fiat, I also agree, by the way, that I think everything should be tokenized, and we should have like self-custody of everything. Like banks can't shut us down. I've been debanked. I don't want that to happen again. So, USDT, MetaMask, I want it. I want it to be common. Even in the UK, we can pay with MetaMask now on Google Pay. So I use that now instead, even though it costs me a little bit more. My bank is never going to get shut down. But realistically, looking at the world, where is the value? How do we underpin value in the world? It's the US dollar. So if your project or business is good enough to accumulate US dollars, it shows that you've got product market fit. If you're good enough then to distribute those US dollars, it shows that you've got good product market fit. If you're just relying on your token, you still have to get that value from somewhere. And if it's not underpinned by the US dollar, which is what the world underpins value in, then are you actually creating value? Do you have product market fit? So it's really a test. But eventually, like, I want to see a system at World Mobile, for example, where those fiat payments are converted into well, this is how the chain works anyway. Those fiat payments are bought by WMTX off the market. Then all of the chain stuff is in WMTX, like gas fees are paid, Earth node operators, which are the node operators for our chain are paid in WMTX, etc., etc., etc. And then once you have someone who has connectivity through their, they've got a phone plan or internet plan, and they've got a mobile app which they're accessing it, all of a sudden they're paying for their connectivity, the service they need in WMTX on their app, because it's just numbers on the screen behind it. It doesn't matter. But then that someone else needs connectivity, right? Their neighbors need connectivity, but their neighbors also have like milk, and they don't have milk. So then they can transfer that WMTX to that neighbor who can pay for connectivity with that WMTX, and they get the milk back. So you actually start creating that ecosystem that can underpin the token's value, but it has to be based in the real world, which right now the value is determined by the US dollar. So yeah, that's that. I just wanted to clear that up.
That's really valuable. That's really valuable. What I see actually is where the ecosystem is moving towards. That, of course, like the line between the fiat and crypto is going to be a non-existent one, right? At some point of time, the rewards will be distributed. Maybe as the DePIN cat was saying, I don't see it is any different from a stock market, right? So companies have shares. Shares are valuable, and they have investors. And when they get the revenue, they distribute that revenue, which is collected in USD, as in your case, to the shareholder. The same thing in a crypto project, right? So in case of Growww, and they are collecting the revenue from the demand, and instead of doing fiat transfers, asking everybody the count, it's easier for them to do a crypto transaction, right? So slowly and slowly, what we will see is that these use cases will be so prominent, and crypto transfers will be so normal that we wouldn't be even seeing, like, why are you paying me in crypto, or paying me in fiat, like as we seeing it today. Why are you not giving me a note, and why are you paying me in debit card or credit card, right? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to add something to that. The only reason why a company needs to transfer the earnings is because the earnings are centralized also. So, and this is a concept that we were trying to break, because we are going to be releasing in the near future some tooling for our operators to monetize in the real world themselves. So, for example, and they'll have to pay an operator pays a premium fee for the premium tooling. Let's say, I don't know, $5 a month per hotspot, $10 a month per hotspot, whatever. And now they have this tooling that allows them to sell the data directly to the customers around them. Because what if you are in an area that we cannot reach with offloading, but you have a small village where you can deploy 100 units, and you pay the premium to be the one selling to them internally? You get paid every day. And that will, and our thesis is that once we release this, we'll see operators receiving their tokens from the treasury that is going to last 100 years, not selling because they don't need to. They'll put it to work in the ecosystem, and they'll start using it in different ways. Like the DePIN cat mentioned, we also seen people in these low-income community areas where we have deployed these hotspots to partners to use the tokens that they have earned, because they have to pay their bandwidth with dollars. And they use these tokens to give it to somebody else, so they get a service in exchange, so that other person can then connect to the network in this area. So this is very true as well. And this is what, that's why I wanted to add this, that we are going this one step further for our operators, so that we don't have to think about, I have to transfer them in dollars so that I can prove that my company is success, but they can do it themselves. And this is not the only tooling that they can sell the access. For example, you can go and become an operator and go offer a restaurant, instead of asking, hey, you want to share the rewards from this unit that I'm going to suck internet from your centralized bandwidth, or bringing you this service, you have this landing page where every time a person comes, they see your logo and they can go to your website after they connect to the internet, and you pay $0. Or no, even better, you pay $10 a month, which is 10 times less than the traditional Wi-Fi marketing platform, and the operator transferred that directly to us, so they have nothing to pay to them. They earn the 100% of the rewards, and they are getting paid in real money while the host gets a service or a benefit that they weren't getting before. So there's so many different things that we can do and think about how monetization has to happen. And the problem is that when institutional investors come, they don't see they need, or they push the centralized company to be the one making the money, because it's of course beneficial to them, and that's fine. That's how the game works. But if you want this to be decentralized and not, because what's good from a network that is in 100 countries, I have 10 million hotspots deployed by 1 million operators around the world, and I fail to bring usage, right? And what if I'm not here anymore? What if the company, not the foundation, because the foundation or the protocol is eternal, it's there. As long as there are hotspots up and there's oracles up, the protocol is going to work. We can have a 100-year blackout, and then we have electricity and internet back again. It's going to turn back on. It's not going to depend on the company selling. So in our case, sorry, let me finish. And in our case, we do both. We are bringing centralized revenue from telcos, and we have our mobile app that will allow people to buy directly, but we are building these tools so we can decentralize profit generation and revenue generation on the network. So people deploying 100 hotspots in an area, they can get full charge and take care of their of that, earn that, and we can still earn from that. If we have an operator deal, they will still offload to that. We'll still earn while they are earning on top of the base protocol, because the base protocol, which is what we have done, allows anybody to share internet and just rely on the crypto element, on the blockchain or the protocol, and there's nothing else. Like, there's nothing else around, nothing else exists. And now we are on top of that protocol. We add these tools that allow operators to go and sell services that connect to this protocol, because the base protocol allows people to connect to the internet. So how they connect, if it's an app, if it's a captive portal, if it's a password, whatever the way it is, it's a revenue generating layer on top. And this can be done by the separate entity, because you have a company and you have a foundation that manages the protocol. And you can have this company managing all the revenue generation, or you can have this company, well, the foundation, build these tools so anybody can become part of this revenue generating as well. So we decentralize revenue generation.
Two things is, so one is, of course, the decentralization of revenue generation, and also somehow it need to be visible on chain. That's what you are advocating for, right? All the transactions, instead of it's coming to a pot and distributed by a centralized thing, it need to be somehow on chain. So that brings complete transparency how it is distributed, and so we avoid a lot of issues what we have been observing for quite some time, So yeah, so Chris, want to add something?
No, I've been listening kind of keenly. But
Me, I was like caught up listening actually.
yeah, I don't know. There were a lot of different topics added, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the fun thing about these conversations. Like, we have probably some topics at the beginning, but then it just goes everywhere, because we work with this every day. I'm pretty sure you guys have so much insights that you gather every single day from every single front. Users, operators, investors, whatever, institutional clients, municipalities, governments. Like, we have to get deep in everywhere. And this is why I truly believe, and this is not going to work for every single project, right? Because if you're a project that you produce data, for example, like Silencio, how do you get the operator to go and sell that? Because it's data. But with these services, like other types of services, like energy, like connectivity, something that is very personal in that moment for the user when they're using, that is something that I know that inevitably will be decentralized in terms of how the revenue is being generated. So it's not just one company. There could be 10, 100 companies making money on the Growww ecosystem protocol. They all provide connectivity in their own countries, in their own villages, in their own whatever, or in their own verticals, using the base layer, which is provide connectivity, get rewarded in tokens, and you need tokens to access this connectivity. You have a token, you have a network. You provide the network, you earn tokens, you need the tokens to access the network, and then the rest
Absolutely.
is revenue generating in the real world, because we are, as the DePIN cat mentioned, in this world where things work in a specific way, and we cannot just change that for everybody. We can make tools to
I agree with
gradually
that.
get there.
Yeah, I think that's there are a lot of valid points. What Shavel is saying. I think we as an ecosystem, we need to remember the core function or the pure function of protocols, right? And that was the purpose. And we got a bit deviated, but yeah, so we're back at it. So hopefully, and this continues. So before we wrap up, any final thoughts? And and then we move on to the next episode, and hopefully we'll have you guys again. So yeah, who gives Dark Virus? Is you have to give
Well,
the
I'm traveling. I'm afraid, I get all choppy or whatnot. I'm just like, it's just, it's the same stuff. We always say this yoga. It's just like, man, it's just like we're early to this stuff. You guys are learning as you go along. I mean, we're all learning. We're making like the map of tomorrow. There's there's no guidelines. There's nothing. There's no rules. Just be creative, be different, lean on your community, give back to the community, and like do something awesome with that data that you're making. I will give data all day, every day. I don't really get rewarded with, and feed an AI or map the cellular network of the world. So I'd never ever lose service, and just do something amazing, and never lose sight of your true purpose. That's it. Boom.
Thank you, Dr. Rice. That was very nice. But I have a follow-up question. Whereabouts are you roughly? Just don't dox yourself entirely. But I've been trying to figure out where you
Right
are.
now I'm in
Looking out the
Oklahoma.
window.
I'm in Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
the
All
middle.
right. Amazing.
Awesome. Keep scanning for points, Dark Virus, man. That has made my day. I've already shared that with the team, and it's great.
Oh, I'm
Like
telling you,
seeing you on
man.
mobile just in the wild, it's fantastic.
It is, right? That's your baby.
serious giving guy.
That's your baby, and you see it, in like real. I'm out there scanning, and
100%. Love it.
and you map in the network so people can. You guys are amazing. Wrap it up, yo. Jeez.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming. And drive safe, Dark Virus. And I will bring you guys again because this was a amazing discussion. And Shavel and the
Thank you.
DePIN Cat, and Chris, the guys who left.
Thank you.
You guys are amazing. Let's do it again.
Thank you so
Thank you
much
very
for
much.
the
See
invite.
you.
Happy to chat with you
Take
guys. See
care.
you soon. Bye.
Always
Bye.
take care.
You
Bye
too.
bye.